Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning to our respected speaker, Dr. Tabamaran, Publication and Excellence Unit, UiTM Police, Postgraduate Unit of UiTM Police, and to all audience. Welcome everyone and thank you for joining us for today's webinar writing series, a hands-on class to convert proposal to review journal, the finale for 2022. I am Nik Afika from College of Computing, Informatics and Media, UiTM Police, and I will be moderating this 2 hours webinar. Before we proceed, I would like to raise an attention from you on several matters. First, it is appreciated if you could mute your microphone throughout the session to avoid any accidental interruption during the talk. Next, if you do have any question for the speaker, you may raise your hand and turn on the microphone to ask the speaker out loud, or you may type your question in the chat box and I will read out for you at the end of session. Finally, the link for the certificate of participation will be shared at the end of the webinar. So please stay with us until the end. Thank you for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the main objective of this seminar are to help students in managing their postgraduate journey. All participants will be provided with the information on how to convert your proposal to review journal. Our webinar today is honored with the presence of Dr. Tabamaran. Thank you for coming, Doctor. Before we begin, let us first welcome our Deputy Director, Geospecialist Technologist Dr. Ernisa Suhana Mokhtar to deliver her opening speech and remarks.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Welcome, Dr. Taba. So,
hello, Dr. Ernisa. Very good morning. Thank you.
How many times were you involved in our program?
I dah lupa dah. Countless already. Thank you. Thanks for always inviting me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
I think we just have a very informal session, right?
Yes, always.
Okay, so thanks to the organizer, Dr. Ain, and also the moderator for having this session. So hopefully we have a very fruitful session, which is sharing to convert the journal, the proposal to the review journal. I also want to learn from you, Dr. Tawa. Still unsuccessful to have a review paper. So hopefully with this session, we can have more review paper. As we know, in the next year, 2023, UiTM is focused on the citation and
very
also
good.
To increase the corresponding author for the index journal. I think with the review paper, we can increase the citation for the index and for the Scopus WOS journal.
Yes.
So hopefully for all the participants, of course, for the young researcher, postgraduate, this is our generation to help us increasing our Malaysia citation, and hopefully all the participants can have a very good session by learning and gain experience from the Dr. Tava that I know he's quite active on the proofread, and I saw from the Facebook successful. Congratulations for the publishing. I think Q3, right?
Yang mana, Doktor?
I'm not sure, but it's an index journal.
Yang semalam tu it's Q1.
Q1, okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of paper from your company, right? Successful, reviewed, and make sure they are published in a very good journal. So that's all from me. So thanks again to Dr. Tava and all the participants, also the organizer for having this session. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Niza. Thanks for having me. See you later.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ernisa, for the opening speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, it is my pleasure to introduce our respected speaker to all of you. Dr. Tabamaran completed his PhD degree in engineering in less than 3 years, majoring in the integration of fourth generation long-term evolution (LTE) and optical communications. Thereafter, he solely founded Proofreading by a UK PhD, an academic consulting firm that provides services across many verticals. The firm has grown from having a single founder to currently employing over 87 consultants all over the globe. and currently serves corporates and universities in over 33 countries, including UK, Saudi Arabia, Korea, Australia, and many more. In his personal research journey, Dr. Tavamaran has an exciting publication record and awards with more than 60 publications within 5 years, mostly published in ISI Quartile 1 journals. Most notably, he had garnered over 90,000 academic followers in his vibrant Facebook page, which completely focuses on academic and career paradigms. Proofreading by a UK PhD currently serves as the official editorial for many universities, governmental and private organizations. Dr. Tavamaran also active in entrepreneurship journey and industry linkage, which has made him eligible to secure over 23.7 million worth of research grants and won numerous Best Paper and Researcher of the Year awards. With his impressive achievement, UiTM Perlis are pleased to invite Dr. Tavamaran to motivate all the students over here together to achieve success. Without further ado, we welcome Dr. Tavamaran to deliver his speech. Dr. Tavamaran, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Afika. Thanks a lot for hosting today. Thank you, Dr. Ain, for always inviting me. Appreciate that. So again, thank you, Dr. Aniza, for being here, spending your time here. So, okay, very good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are okay. Thanks for joining again. Thanks for tuning in. I think we are already at the final talk for this year, 2022. So we have done quite well this year. I don't know how many of you have actually attended my previous 3 classes. If you have missed out, I think you can probably speak to Dr. Ain for the recording. You can get a copy of it, hopefully, because it's all connected. Okay, the way that I design my classes, they are all connected. So when you finish one after another, you will eventually cascade your knowledge. Okay, so today is the finale. Next year, we're going to have more unique classes. Okay, hopefully. We're already planning already for next year. But today, we are going to go into a very unique topic. Okay, it took me some time to design this particular class. I was wondering what to go hands-on, and I came up with this idea today. So let me just, where is, all right, okay. So, okay, so in case if any of your colleagues, friends, or students haven't joined yet, I see a lot of supervisors present today. So you can ask them to join, no problem. Okay, so let me just do a bit of housekeeping here for me. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is a new feature. My background went missing. Okay, that's good. So now, very good morning again, everyone. So my classes are usually informal. I'm actually a very informal person, so I don't like to be formal. If you have any questions, feel free to chat up. Okay, keep your mic muted because then it'll disturb the flow. But if you have any question you want to discuss, you want to ask, you want to probably discuss mostly discuss and ask questions. Don't feel shy. Okay, these 2 hours will never come back because next year we're going to have new sets of classes. So this topic today is going to be very unique and probably won't be repeated until 2024. Okay, most likely. Or might be repeated on my Facebook live class. Okay, so feel free, grab a cup of coffee or water. Don't think of Monday public holiday already. Leave that for tomorrow. Okay, today we are still working, so focus today. I believe some of you might not have did much of a work for the past 4 to 5 days. Even I did not as well. I tried my best though. It was very exciting and very intriguing to see this. So, but anyway, we have a result now. So let's move forward. Let's focus on our progress. Let's see what we can do as a researcher, as a accomplished academician or postgraduate student. So that's what we are here today. So I am going to focus today on proposal to scoping review journal. Okay, why proposal? This is where a lot of people miss out on essential papers. So the important part here is as what our deputy rector shared. Okay, very nice of her. She actually gave a very, very important point: citation. Okay, citation you can get. I think the citation ratio for review paper is way higher compared to empirical papers. However, empirical papers are very easy to write because they follow a standard template. A standard template that I usually teach during my workshop. those standard templates you can, I wouldn't say easy, but much straightforward. Okay, compared to writing a review paper. Review paper template, I'm still creating more than 1 year now. Systematic reviews like scoping review based template, I'm still creating. It's big struggle. It's not easy. Okay, it's very hard to see the correlation of how you design the entire review paper. So writing review paper is challenging. However, that's why we are here today. How to actually exploit your PhD proposal. Okay, whether it's 10 pages proposal or your chapters 1 to 3 and so on, how to actually convert them, or if you're a supervisor, how you actually can quickly ask your student to convert them into a proposal paper without waiting for them to collect data, find data, then only start publishing. That is considered too late already. Okay, I mean, not too late, it's we are waiting too long. We can actually start extracting more papers. Okay, that is our end goal. Our end goal of the classes that we have conducted through 2022, that means starting from thesis class, then we looked into high impact publication, then we explored systematic review, and today we are looking at conversion, because I want Malaysia as a nation, our universities, to produce more papers so we can move more. Okay, and we can increase our citation, which in turn will push through our ranking. Okay, all right. It is directly correlated in a way. All right. So how to actually exploit early publication for PhD or masters. All right. So you being a student or you being a supervisor, it's very useful today for both of you. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this. I think we have done that already. But let me just go through why I'm here. What enabled me to be here? I have to thank to my own organization. We are Proofreading by UK PhD. All right. So we are the only ISO 9001-2015 certified academic consulting firm here. We are very proud of our certification, our standard that we maintain very closely. We have over 1,300 review on Google, 5-star all the way. That's what we try to maintain as much as we can. We are also recognized and endorsed by CFEP, also known as SFEP in the UK, and Human Resource Ministry in Malaysia, HRDF. We are registered with them as well. And this is our global presence, okay, where we are. Okay, we're in about 34 countries now. So that's what we do. And this all enabled me to come up with these numbers. So these are the amount of items that I've worked on so far. Just one moment. Okay. Just move that here. Okay, that's better. All right. So whatever I'm going to teach you today is not just my personal experience. Despite me publishing, I don't have any KPI for myself in my own company. However, I do still publish papers. This year I published 3 papers already, 2 Q1 and actually 3 Q1, 2 Web of Science Q1 and 1 Scopus Q1. Okay, the Scopus Q1 was a scoping review paper, conceptual paper. Published in MDPI, and then I have one more Web of Science Q1 published in Elsevier Helion, and yesterday I got one more acceptance in Frontiers Psychology. Okay, that was another Web of Science Q1, but those 2 are empirical, and I have one review paper. So not only my personal experience, I'm also accumulating experience from serving or working with credible 22,000 over people. Okay, I've learned a lot from them. Not only I teach them and I share my experience with them, I also learn from them. Okay, learning is never ending. If you think after PhD you have learned everything, actually that's when you will start realizing that you have never learned anything. You have so much more to learn. Okay, so of that we focus about 11,000 over thesis and 10,000 over articles. And today, for today's class, we are going to cover a bit on thesis. We are not a bit, I think to a certain extent, about 20-30% of how to write a proposal. And then we're going to look a lot into publication and thesis to journal conversion. Okay. This Viva Examiner and proposal defense thing I've covered in the first class already. So if you don't have the record, if you have never attended my first class, go and watch. I've explained a lot on proposal defense and Viva. Okay. And also, obviously, we always cover the language part because it's extremely important, extremely. The success rate of us, or of me entering the market, I came into Malaysian academic arena after I came back from my postdoc in Birmingham. That was 2016, 2015 roughly. Since then until now, I think we have really grown in terms of publication. My records are indicating very good growth. Okay, exponential growth in terms of publication. The main reason of that is language. We cannot take this for granted. This is very, very important because this is where you express. Your voice is carried through your language when it comes to your thesis, proposal, grants, a lot of grants, and also your papers, especially papers. It is carried through a very good structured language. When you fail to deliver that, no matter how strong your content can be, your reviewers or examiners will take your content for granted. This is my personal experience. Okay. And also very good news is that we are almost done with MOU with UITM, thanks to Dr. Ain. Soon, I think we'll be signing officially. So that is a bit of background. And to all of you, please be keyboard warriors today. If you're on Facebook, close your Facebook. If you're on Lazada, Shopee, close that also. If you're in meeting, also close that. Okay, let's focus here. Ask as many questions as you want. Okay, for those who are joining my class for the first time, how many of you here never joined my Facebook classes before? This one I always share because these are free resources, about 170, 118 classes now. Free classes, you can just go and watch. There are many different classes. Example, how to structure a full thesis, problem statement writing. So we have many supervisors here. If your supervisor say, Doctor, I don't know how to write problem statement, I say, just don't worry, go to Dr. Tawa's page. There will be a lot of classes on problem statement. Go and watch that and learn and come back. So that's why I created this. Because after speaking to a lot of supervisors and so on, they say, I really don't have time to teach this individual thing. So, and also students will say, my supervisor is very busy, which we understand. Supervisor got like a list of KPIs for them to fulfill. It's not easy. Students might not understand that, but me as a former academician and also working with a lot of supervisors, I know how much of work they have, literally speaking. Okay, so that's why I came up with all these classes, at least to assist them in very niche area. Okay, because you cannot be paying for every workshop. So what we can do, we share knowledge for free. That's what we do in academics. Okay, so we have quite a number of first timers here. So let me just quickly show you where to find my Facebook classes. Okay, so this is my Facebook page. For those who don't have Facebook, you're against social media. I truly understand and I truly respect that. But what you can do is you can just create a Facebook profile, doing nothing, no need to fill up anything, don't even need to put your photo. What you can do, you just can create that to come and watch all my videos here, okay? Because I have about 23,000 followers between my page and my group. So that's why I do all my classes here, okay? Thank you, Dr. Erniza. So Dr. Erniza is also in my Telegram. Oh, thank you. Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, I'll be getting to Telegram as well very soon. So thank you, Zulkifli. Thanks a lot. So I'll be sharing what we have resources in terms of resources in Telegram group as well. So this is the Facebook page for those who never been here before. Never visited my Facebook page. I'll be very sad if you don't visit. So do come and visit. It's free of charge, okay, for visiting. And then once you arrive here, you can click this 3 dot here, or you can look for a follow button. You can click that follow button. It'll be somewhere here. I don't know, Facebook keeps changing the interface. Okay, thanks Adila. Thanks a lot. Previous talks. So, okay. So Dr. Ain already shared all the previous talks. Very nice of her. So the YouTube link had been shared by Dr. Ain. Please click that link, go and watch all my 3 previous classes. Especially since you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday holiday. If you're not traveling anywhere, go and definitely join the classes. Okay, I mean, watch the classes so you can recall what happened in thesis class, thesis development, PhD development, and then what happened in high impact paper class, which I did all this year, and then followed by what happened in systematic review class. So once you connect all the dots, then today's class will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, all right. Thank you, Siti. Also, so once we are here, you go to videos. I haven't organized any upcoming classes yet because December is already full. For me, it'll be many universities. So that's why I'm figuring out when to conduct other Facebook classes. This was the last class that I did, Road to Proposal Defense and Viva. This one I did on time because we have many candidates might be going for Proposal Defense Viva by December or at least January. So to cover them up, I've already done this class. Go and watch this class. You will know exactly what to do during your proposal defense or Viva. Okay, even for your students who are coming up new, you can prepare them now yourself. They know exactly what they are facing. And also, I've already summarized this in my Telegram group. I've already created a template. So this is how active our class is. So we share a lot of resources in our Telegram group. So you just go here and type template. Okay, click search here. I'll share the link shortly. Just one moment. Yeah, let me just show you. Click search here, click template, and then you can see proposal defense Viva template. So I've already shared here. These are the very well-known famous questions okay, that usually examiners will ask. Okay, how do I know? I went through PhD and I've also asked many of our PhD consultees. Okay, I coach and consult, my team coach and consult a lot of PhD students. So when they finish and come back, we'll normally ask, okay, what did they ask? What did they ask? Okay, this one. Okay, so we collect analytics. So based on that, we come up with this. But it is not rigid. I need to tell this, it's not rigid because we don't know how every examiner is going to think. Every supervisor have different experience. Every examiners have different experience. So we are not sure what they're going to ask, but generally this is what they might be asking. So you can go and download this. So example here we have about 25 different questions that you can prepare before you go for proposal defense or Viva. Okay. The PDF file should be somewhere here, or if no, you can just download this picture. It's the same. Okay, it's the same. So it is right here. For those who want to join my Telegram group, I would suggest you to join. Let me just see. Okay, there you go. Okay, if you guys realize, you guys might be in a lot of Telegram channels where you don't get to ask anything or say anything because that is for marketing. But this is a group. I don't like channel because consistent marketing is useless. What we do is we share resources, we share knowledge. So this is a group where you can collect data. We have 11,580 members, not only in Malaysia, all over the world. So when you have questionnaire, you have interview, you have maybe you want to connect network with certain people in certain industries, certain SMEs you want to collect data, come and ask. You might be lucky, you never know. Okay, because you have 11,000 people. So at least 1% of that person might help you. You don't know. Okay, so, and you can also share your questionnaire here. I will allow that, no problem. As long as there is no any marketing element, you can come and share good resources. I will allow as long as it's not spamming lah. Okay, no problem. So I always allow people to come and collect data. And so far it's quite successful for people. Okay, because at any given time, at least 1,000 people are online here. Literally, because I can see on my phone how many people are online. Okay, so, and also, let me just quickly finish my Facebook first. So this is the class that happened last week. And then you can see all other classes here. Free writing tutorials by Dr. Tawa, 118 videos we have in total. This is free classes. A lot of people are still paying for workshop. I only ask people to pay for my workshop if I have something very credible. That means a template, literally a template where you can use to create new papers. Okay. The extent that my template goes is that Dr. Hidayat from UTM, it was last year. Last year, November, he published a paper, Web of Science Q1 Impact Factor 5.4 Elsevier without correction. Without any correction. He submitted, accepted as it is. So that is the level of template that I create. Those are paid workshops. But the general knowledge of how to write problem statement, how to write chapter 1, what is the template, how to write, all those I don't create into monetary value. So all those I give free classes. And you can go and watch. Example, how to do literature review at Scopus. How to do literature review of science. These two I'll be teaching today. So don't worry about it. How to paraphrase. How to, because paraphrasing is something you cannot take away from an academic's life. People who misunderstand paraphrasing, they always think it's plagiarism. It is not. When you want to look at, if you want to write quickly, you look at certain content. Okay, this is a bit out of scope. When you look at certain content, you know this is very relevant to you. It is truly a waste of time if you sit down, start thinking, and then start writing everything on your own. Okay, you have to understand you are not an author. You are not a book writer. Okay, you are an academician, a researcher. So you want to produce your papers very fast. So when you look at certain content, you think it's very much related to what you're trying to write. Take that content, okay? Understand it, rewrite it to your own understanding, okay? Don't copy bulat-bulat lah. That's what we say. Don't copy just like that. Take, understand, rewrite. So that's why I teach how to paraphrase properly. Don't use Quillbot, okay? That is completely useless. Okay, that software, if any of you using, you don't know the amount of problem that you're going through. Just yesterday, we went through a thesis which used Quillbot. Completely and utterly destroyed, and the student don't even know that it is out of context. That's the dangerous part. Okay, because you don't know, if you don't understand the words that Quillbot is churning out, you might not know that it's actually out of context. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Please don't use Quillbot. Okay, there is nothing artificially intelligent about it. Okay, it is only truly artificially useless. Okay, so please don't use that software. Paraphrase on your own. Come and watch this. Literature review, reading and summarizing, PhD after time with award-winning thesis, literature matrix design, PhD proposal defense, and so on and so forth. So many classes here. Feel free to come and watch if you want to. And then my all other resources, Telegram group, how to join and so on. I'll be sharing this. I've shared the link already. I'll share again. This is called Linktree. So this is the past class. I haven't announced any new classes yet. What we do in terms of academic services, and for thesis journal template, you can request here. Usually when I receive requests more than 100, 200, then I'll email all at one go, all the PDF file. So when you come and request, if you don't get email, please wait. I'll email to you. Definitely I'll email one day. Okay. One fine day. Then Telegram group, Facebook group, all the video classes also linked here to make your life easier. And my TikTok, which I'll be active very soon. And then my YouTube channel. Okay. So these are all the links all under one roof to make your life easier. Okay, so that is that. So I've shared all of that. Okay, now Telegram. Okay, Telegram, what templates we have here? So let me just show that quickly. This one is done. This one also done. I've shared with you Telegram group already, TikTok and also Facebook page. So we can skip all these links, the link given to you already. Okay, now before we start, do I have templates here? Oh yeah, we have. Okay. So, okay, before I go to the templates, today we are going to cover 5 different parts. First, I'm going to share about journey to hourglass theory. You wouldn't have heard of it anywhere because it's my theory. Okay, this is something that I created out of my own understanding. I'm planning to write a book on it, just haven't found a time yet. But I'll tell you today what is hourglass theory. Okay, then comprehensive scoping review methodologies. I'm going to explain to you literally the very important Prisma scoping review methodologies today, step by step. Okay, then we're going to go on a journey for hands-on search process. We're going to use Web of Science to learn how to search for article based on my own paper published this year, and also Scopus. We're going to use 2 most important database. I don't use Google Scholar because when you go into systematic review or scoping review, I would suggest not to use Google Scholar because Google Scholar is very good. Okay, for beginners, for people who are just starting to do research, Google Scholar is the best. But when you go to systematic review or scoping review, Google Scholar tend to give you a lot of rubbish. Okay, because Google Scholar has a range of papers. They have all the Web of Science papers, they have all the Scopus papers, then they also have all the unindexed papers, and then they have all the scam papers also. So they have everything. Scam papers means literally scam journals. They are not actual journals. So they publish online and Google Scholar goes and picks up all the papers. So that's why you must be very careful when you do search on Google Scholar. Okay, next thing, theoretical and conceptual frameworks, very important for today's class. And step 1 to scoping review. How to do a 10 pages, how to convert a 10 pages proposal into a scoping review paper, but in a very raw form. I cannot do the whole conversion today within 2 hours, but we'll see what I'll be doing. Okay. Okay, so for those who never joined my previous class, I'm not going to ask this because I see a lot of new names today, so it's okay. But make sure you go and watch Dr. Ain's YouTube link. She has shared very kindly earlier. Thesis development journey was the first class. Second class was high impact publication. Third class, systematic literature review. All of these quite comprehensive. You can go and watch via the YouTube link. Okay. Okay. Types of journal papers. I know many of you are here eagerly waiting for this. So usually we are very prone to write original research or even letters, but based on empirical data. Straightforward stuff. Okay, I wouldn't say easy. Okay, but I wouldn't say probably as complex or I wouldn't say complex, but as complicated as as complicated as review paper. Okay, so Zamri had a very good question, how to differentiate those scam papers. Actually, even I got cheated before. Yeah, even I got cheated before. It's a bit hard to identify that. What I would advise is, you can search for the journal first in Scopus or Web of Science. Okay, if you want to go for index journal. But some people, unfortunately, in this sector, I cannot believe people are cheating. They create exactly replica website. Like Pertanika, under UPM, very good journal. I work very closely with them. But they have a replicated website, okay, which you can see in their website. They would have, Pertanika would have explained about this. Say be very careful. Okay. So what I would say is when you submit a journal, look at their platform. Okay. They will normally have a submission platform. And then also maybe you can cross-check with Scopus and Web of Science in case if you are in doubt. Okay, you can say this is the link that I'm submitting the paper, and you can check at scopus.com if it's Scopus or not, or Web of Science or not, and you can double check with them, is this really Scopus or Web of Science? If if there is any doubt arises. Okay, so those are the things that you can do. Actually quite difficult, but you can try lah. All right. Okay, so next thing, message here. Sorry, I'll get to the message shortly later. Okay. Okay, next thing, review article. So we're going to focus a lot on here today, on this. And case studies. This case study, I'm not talking about qualitative case study. I'm talking about medical or legal case study. Their actual experience that normally they will write. So don't worry about that today. So our sole focus is this. Okay, for those who are new, okay, never attended my classes before, not in my... Okay, how many of you here not in my Telegram group? UITM, very rarely you won't be in my Telegram group, but let's see if I'm meeting any new friends. It is stated I am banned. Oh, that's weird. Dr. Ekmil, let me check. Okay, tak apa. Dr. Ekmil, later please remind me. I will check again. Sometimes my admin might have banned people, unfortunately. So later please remind me, Dr. Ekmil. I'll add you personally, so it'll be easier. Okay, so for those who haven't joined yet, no problem, Dr. Ekmil. For those who haven't joined yet, please go and join. Okay, let me tell you important information here. Okay, hi Dr. Juan, thanks for joining. So, okay, once you arrive here, okay, click the search button here and just type template. What kind of template do you have? Okay, let me show you what kind of template I have. So I have for systematic review dengan thanks Ideal, thanks a lot. Untuk database, okay, systematic review or scoping review, you have literature search database, or even new students who comes in, they don't know where to go and look for literature. You don't need to bother to go and ask your supervisor. Okay, these are all very basic, trivial things. So don't worry. You just can come to my Telegram group. If you're a new student, go through the templates. It will educate you. Okay. Kalau yang belum join tu, Zalina, you can click this link. Alright, so you can click that link and join Telegram group. Okay. So literature search database will give you all the necessary database you can use according to your subject area. So I've already given all the links. Okay, then you have critical literature review template. So once you download the paper, some of us don't know how to do literature review, which is perfectly normal. We never born into this world knowing how to do literature review. We learn. Okay, we learn. Okay, because especially Malaysians, I don't think we are very good at criticizing people, which is a good trait. Okay, morally, I think we have very high moral value. We don't simply go and criticize people. So how literature review... Actually, if I look at the difference, being in I studied in the UK, worked in the UK, I traveled to US, I worked there before, and versus Malaysians always struggle to do literature review because we don't really criticize. Okay, we take it easy, say it's fine. So when it comes to papers as a literature review, they are very good at criticizing because they criticize everything. Okay, UK and also US, all this Marsali, they love to criticize. So when it comes to papers, naturally they are good at criticizing. So you have to understand the trait of literature review is criticizing their work. What is wrong? What is missing? What is the gap? Okay, what is not fulfilled yet? So those are the things that you need to do as part of your review paper. You need to understand that it's not merely just copy and pasting the content and then say, I'm done with review paper. No, what is your original contribution? Original contribution is by criticizing or finding the gaps that will necessarily create a new review paper and a new roadmap or a new conceptual framework. Okay, so that's why I've created how to be critical. This is another very good template you can go through. There are a few items you can go through when you do your literature review. Then once you finish your literature review, you can use my summary template, how to summarize all the literature. Okay, how to summarize all the literature review. This one I've given an example already. You can find this in Telegram group. After you summarize, what do? You do literature matrix. Also, we have another template for that. You can go and look for that template. So everything is in template form already. So if you still find it trouble, then you really need to invest your time to understand how this works. But now at least you have very clear guideline. You know, okay, after I do this, I do this. After I do this, I do this. You know, at least you can follow the flow. Next thing, for those who want to write motivation, very strong background, very strong literature review with statistical numbers. Okay, how many people got COVID in the world? How many SME bankrupted? how many crimes were committed during COVID, all those kind of statistics, right? You can go and use this template. Okay, I've given all the statistic links. You can go and search for the statistics. And then for those who are struggling to write problem statement, I even have a template for problem statement as well. 7 steps only to write problem statement. And then systematic literature review, inclusion, exclusion, another template. Okay, then a theoretical framework template, which is not fulfilled yet. This one is very time consuming. Table of content for thesis. Okay, yang ni ada update. This one ada update. If you go here, type template. So you can see a proposal defense template, SRR inclusion template, critical review template. Then we have table of content template. Let me just look for it. Summary. Okay, let me just type TOC, table of content. Okay, there you go. So if you click this, you can see that I've already created even table of content for thesis. Not in detail, but general. Okay, very general, but it has all the important key points. In chapter 1, what you must write. In chapter 2, what you must write. In chapter 3, what you must write. Chapter 4, what you must write. Quantitative lah. I don't have that. I haven't have the time to look into qualitative and so on, yeah. But mostly for quantitative, chapter 5, what to have and so on. So this will create a very good baseline and you can modify according to what you need. Always have table of content to discuss supervisor to tell them, okay, proposal, this is what I'm writing. What is your opinion? So you need to crunch that first. Then before you go to chapter 4 and 5, you can also design table of content, show your supervisor, okay, this is what I plan to do for chapters 4 and 5. What do you think, doctor? Or what do you think, prof? Macam tu. You need to do that. You need to always keep your supervisor informed so they can share their wisdom with you. They can tell you, okay, this I don't want. This one remove. This one add back. This one is not necessary. You know. So this is a base guideline for you. How to design a table of content for your proposal or thesis. Okay. And so on and so forth. So those are the templates you can look for here. Next thing is abstract. Then we have new one, the TOC, and then we have proposal defense and Viva as well. Okay. So those are the new templates. Go and explore, make use of it, enjoy yourself, have fun in my Telegram group, and feel free to share. Okay, feel free to share. Feel free to invite your friends to the Telegram group. So let me just share the link here. If you want to share with your friends, your colleagues, your students, this is the link for them to come and join Telegram group. Okay, so directly lah, in case if they need the link directly, t.me/Dr. Tawa channel. Just connect directly. Okay, now, wherever we start from, we always start from the mother of all papers, which will be your empirical papers. Empirical papers are known as the mother of all papers. Okay, because that is the baseline. From there, only everything else were created. So, this is the structure of an empirical paper. We shouldn't ever miss the base paper, right? So, abstract, when you write abstract, you follow abstract section 1, follow 5 steps model. What is 5 steps model? I'm not going to repeat today. You have the YouTube link. Go and watch the previous classes. You will understand how to design your abstract for paper. Okay, next thing, introduction section. Okay, introduction section, you start with using title as the handle. Okay, title as the handle. Start with your core subject. From your title, there will be a core subject. That is your DV, your dependent variable, or your core subject, like your investigative area. Start with that as your first item in introduction. Use statistics to create motivation. I have the template for that already. Literature to narrow funnel, also template available already. You know how to do literature review. Problem statement also, template is already there. So first section done. Then section 2, you do theoretical and literature review development, which you introduce your theory, principle, fundamental, framework, whatever. Theory can be in different forms for different subject areas. Social science, we call it theoretical framework. For engineering, we call it principles, fundamentals. Okay, medical, you might have theoretical framework. So it depends on your subject area. And then literature review to prove gap. Literature matrix also provided already template. Proposed solution. What are you proposing? Is it a system, a framework, chemical composition, economical theory, economical maths or mathematics formulation? Then you come to methodology part, standard process, whether quanti, quali, or mixed, or experimental modeling, or mathematical. Explain the process under methodology. Then you go to results and discussion and conclusion. That is the flow for empirical paper. Okay, now coming to review paper. Now we're going to understand how is that different now. Okay, so I have two different review papers in hand now. So we have narrative review structure, and then we have scoping or systematic. Both also almost the same lah. Okay, I will tell you what are the differences between scoping review and systematic review later, but the structure wise they are the same, paper structure. But when it comes to narrative review and scoping review, they are more or less the same. Only one part will be different. Okay, abstract, same. 5 steps model, same for abstract. Introduction, you start very broad. Okay, you create your funnel lah. That means you start your background, your motivation, and then you slowly funnel down to a very narrow area, which will be a problem statement, and then your solution. So usually that's how you write introduction. Okay, narrow to the core with literature, the same. Problem and purpose statements, done. But if you see here, the differences arise here. Initiate review process directly. No methodology. Narrative review got no methodology. That is what we normally do in our thesis. Okay, we just do literature review, right? We don't follow any standard. We don't follow any requirements and so on. So we just do literature review based on our understanding. We look at the thesis, we follow their flow, and then we also do our literature review. There is no standard to follow. That is called narrative review. It's based on narration, storytelling. Okay, so you initiate review process directly, you introduce your theory, your literature review to proof gap, literature matrix, propose conceptual model or review topic. This flow is more or less the same as empirical paper, but you won't have final result. There won't be data. So what you will do, once you do all this, you will emphasize a lot on discussion. Your weightage will be your discussion. How you discuss, what is the difference you have done so far, what have you observed from your review work, and so on and so forth, and then you conclude. If you look at the difference here, when it comes to systematic and scoping review, the methodology is different here. So you have systematic or scoping review to follow. You can follow Prisma, you can follow Ramesses, you can follow what is another one? There are a few lah. Okay, so you go and watch my class number 3. I would have explained more on methodology, and then theoretical and conceptual development, this one is the same. Okay, you see here, this is the same. The difference here is, which makes it more complicated, is the methodology, which actually further strengthens your paper. This is the sole reason that your paper gets stronger and stronger. Because scoping review or systematic review, when you use a certain guideline to follow, it increases the confidence of reviewers that you are not biased. Okay, same goes to you. If you use systematic review in your thesis, it increases confidence because your examiner will think that you are not biased, because you give all the requirements. You tell them, this is the database I use. These are the keywords I use. Based on that, this is my inclusion exclusion. These are my research questions. And then I get this many papers, and then I filter like this. I filter like that. Okay, how can you do that? You need a protocol. This is something I forgot to mention. So protocol, you can find it also in my Telegram group. Just type protocol. Okay, so you have all the protocols here. I have all the flow diagram here. You can just download. So let me tag this lah. Okay, this is pretty important for those who want to write review paper. Systematic scoping review protocols. Okay, so you can go and download. All right. And you can use it. Okay, feel free to use it, because those are from Prisma website. Okay, so people can, actually a lot of people don't know that there are resources out there. They don't go and find. But whatever I find, usually I'll share in my Telegram group. Okay, so then same thing here. Finally, very strong discussion and then conclude. All right. Okay, this is what I call as hourglass theory. What is hourglass? Okay, for those who don't know what is hourglass, let me show you very quickly. Where is my Google? Okay, went missing already. Okay, now let me just show you here. Hourglass. What is hourglass? Okay, this is hourglass. Okay, this is the old school time clock lah. Okay, old school time clock. So there's always timing running from one point to another to measure time or to measure conversation and so on. Same goes to your PhD journey or master's journey. When you use hourglass theory to explain, you have a time prediction here, years 1 to 3 of PhD or master's. Okay, then you have a funnel, and then you have your thesis, and then you have your outward funnel. Okay, what is this? Okay, very simple. When you start your journey, Masters or PhD, first thing you do is you have initial reading stage. You don't straight away jump and write your chapters 1 to 3. That is a big mistake. I know suppose I have a topic ready from their ground, they tell, okay, here you go, start writing now. That is a different story. Generally, you have an initial reading stage. Okay, so you read very broadly. Okay, that's why you can see very broad phenomena here. So you read very broadly. And then as you want to confirm your title, you will be narrowing down to a certain scope. Okay, so that's why we have scoping review paper here. You can actually write, this conceptual paper with the scoping review, you can do together here itself, if you want to. So what you do here, this is where you write your 10 pages proposal. Okay, in other words, if I follow my framework, this is called step 1. Okay, 10 pages proposal. This is where you write your 10 pages proposal to give to your supervisor, where you tell them that, okay, this is my introduction, this is my background, this is my problem statement, this is my theory, this is my framework and my little literature within 10 pages, and this is my method I want to use. What do you think, Prof? So when you give that, then they already have an idea, okay, this is what you want to do. Whether they like it or don't like it, you will get an answer there and there. If they tell, okay, give me more information, then they are interested in your path. Then you start exploring your chapters 1 to 3. Okay, that's when you go there. Okay, don't immediately jump into this because it's okay to jump. I'm not saying, I'm not against it, but this is not a good strategy. Let's look at strategy point of view. Strategy point of view is if you straight away jump into chapters 1 to 3, just tell you mention the topic to your supervisor. And the supervisor says, okay, you know what, go write your chapters 1 to 3 and come back and see me. So you go, you spend 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, or maybe 4 months. You write about 80 pages and then you come back. Okay, some people will go chapter by chapter, show to your supervisor. That is good. If some people will go chapters 1 to 3 and just show everything. And under those circumstances, okay, if your supervisor say, I don't like this topic, this is out of my scope. Just 3 days ago, a student came from Unit 10. He already finished writing chapters 1 to 3. Want to start experiment already. Supervisor went through, not happy with the topic because from civil engineering, he went a lot deeper into computer science. So that is out of scope already. So he has to scrap the whole 90 pages proposal, restart back. So that's what I don't want you to do. Like this student don't know about my framework, but according to my framework, you shouldn't do that. So if you want to know what is my framework I'm talking about, very simple, you go to my website. Okay, so this is my website. You scroll down all the way here. I follow this framework. Okay, these are the steps that I go through. So you see in my process flow, this is what I taught in my first class live. If you want more information on this, which I'll also share shortly, step number 1 will talk about 10 pages proposal. So you must always focus on that. I think most supervisors does that. Sometimes they don't. So it's totally up to the supervisor. Okay, so once all that confirmed, you finish your chapters 1 to 3. Now, when it comes to review paper, you can either... Okay. Right. Okay. So you can write your review paper here itself, your 10 pages proposal. You can. I'll show you today. Okay. But if you want to be more comfortable, you can also wait until you finish your chapters 1 to 3 and then write your conceptual paper, either with scoping review or without scoping review. Okay. And some people might think that a conceptual framework only for social science or business, I cannot do because I'm in engineering or I'm in chemical or I'm in medical. Medical can lah. You can write protocol paper. I'll show you today that actually you can. Okay. It's how you interpret a conceptual framework. Quantitative doesn't mean you need to do quantitative. You can do any methodology and still have a conceptual framework. All right. And then you can write from your chapter 2, you can focus on writing just systematic review. This is different from this because this won't have conceptual framework. There is no CF here. This is more on a roadmap paper. In this particular area, when I did literature review, where is the heading towards? What happened previously? What is happening now? What is happening in the next 10 years or 5 years? Projection paper, roadmap paper, we call it. Okay, so there is no solution to it. All right. So you might write a systematic review paper saying that IR 4.0 might not succeed. So we need IR 5.0. And then you have your review justification. Why? That is kind of systematic review paper that you can write. Okay. Once all of this confirmed, then you explore your chapters 4 and 5. You start collecting data. Let me wrap all of this. Okay. So you write chapters 4 and 5 here. Then after that, you can start exploring meta-analysis paper from your results, systematic review base. This will be completely different from this because here you'll do data review. And then you can write as many empirical papers as you want, depending on how much data you have. And then future work. Okay, why is it opening back here? Why is the funnel opening back? Because once you finish chapter 5, you will be exploring for new area of research. If you continue to become a postdoc or an academician lah. If you go back to your governmental job or private industry job and so on, you might not research anymore, so might not be relevant for you. But for those who are continuing the academic journey, this is where you explore from your future work. What do you do? So you open up funnel. You reopen the funnel and you start exploring what is next. And then as part of that, you can write another scoping review or systematic review paper. So this is what I call as hourglass theory. You have about 3 years to reach from there to here. And these are the things that you can do along the way. So the motto of UiTM to increase citation, that is the strategy you can follow from a single thesis. A lot of theses are not being exploited because they only focus always on empirical paper. It's not that they mostly don't know the strategy, so they focus always on empirical paper. Something that review papers are tough, but actually you can do. All right? Okay, so that is what you can do along the way, along your journey. Don't need to wait until you reach chapter 4, then you write paper. No, you can write here itself. All right, so that is what we call hourglass theory. Okay, now let's go to comprehensive scoping review methodologies. Now, before I continue, okay, any questions? Anything that you guys want to ask? Okay, doctor. So everything is clear so far, right? Yes, because that is where you do a literature review. If your 10 pages proposal is not enough, then I would suggest you to wait until maybe finish your chapter 2. Also can, no problem. Because you can, from 10 pages proposal, you can do extra literature review and write the paper first. And then from there, you can reverse back and use that for your chapter 2. Okay, either way you can use. It depends on the strategy. In my case, when I wrote my thesis, I wrote my papers first. Okay, I wrote 12 papers during my PhD. Okay, so all I write papers, I just convert them into chapters. So we go on paper strategy. But in Malaysia, we go based on thesis strategy. So thesis strategy, you convert into papers. So if you ask me, do I write chapter 2 first? Well, from step 1, the 10 pages proposal, if your supervisor agrees, you can hop on to write systematic review paper first. From there, you can reverse that into your chapter 2. That also you can do. Okay? Any other questions? Don't feel shy. All right. Okay, so good. No more questions. I'll continue. Okay, so now let's hop into scoping review. Let's study the structure of scoping review paper as the first paper. If you want to do scoping review, if you want to do conceptual framework with narrative review, also can. How about converting thesis to book? Can, Dr. Juan, but I would, Dr. John, I would advise you, if you want to convert thesis to book, make sure that I would advise I would advise you to publish all the conference and journal papers that you can publish from a thesis first. Once you finish publishing everything, then you write book. That is our normal strategy in the UK, and me and my bosses, when we look into books and so on. I never wrote books personally. Okay, we always aim for journal, but book is something that they do later on. Okay, but if you have a KPI to write book, then it's okay lah. But usually the strategy is thesis, as many journals as you can, as many conferences as you can for holidays. Okay, then from there you cite back all the journals into a book. Then you write a more lengthier book lah. That is the strategy. Okay. All right, no problem. Okay, so let's study the structure of, can we publish just the literature review? Yes, you can. Yeah, that's what you're going to write, a narrative review paper or a conceptual review paper. You mean if you don't want to put your conceptual framework, then you can do a systematic review just to write your literature review based systematic review paper. So that is what going to be roadmap. Roadmap means what is going to happen in the future, what happened in the past, and so on and so forth. So you can do a lot of related study according to that. But you must have very strong evidence of whatever you're going to propose that is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay? So that's what, like example, people who wrote about IR 4.0. They wrote about it very long ago. Okay, what is going to happen in IR 4.0. So that is how you can review it. So they know at that point in time, People are already talking about artificial intelligence 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And then they start talking about, okay, this is what the next revolution is going to be. So they do a review paper, they write about IR 4.0, they start talking about artificial intelligence way back. And we're only talking about it now, right? Those are the things that will get you massive citations. Massive citation. If you want to get one paper, 1,000, 2,000 citations, you need to write that kind of paper. Okay, that's what my bosses used to do in the UK. So my boss has one paper he wrote on non-linear Shannon limit. Okay, that is the review paper that most telcos will use. I think that one paper he got more than, I would say 3,000 to 4,000 citations. Just one paper. Okay, that is the power of review paper. You cannot get that from empirical paper. Okay, so let's study the structure of scoping review paper. Okay, scoping review or normal narrative review or systematic review, it maps existing literature, not just review. Okay, scoping review, this one per se scoping review, it maps existing literature, it just doesn't review only. Very useful when a topic has not yet been extensively reviewed. Okay, like now let's say Natasha asked a question, can we write literature review paper? If you want to write a paper on IR 6.0, okay, not even 5.0 or 5.0, people probably already write that what is going to be 5.0. We talk about 6.0. Then you do scoping review, you see what is going to be next. You can say, okay, they are all going to be hologram based. Okay, we are going to have flying cars. How are we going to enable flying cars? We're not going to drive on roads anymore. We're going to use tunnel, okay, based on what Elon Musk said, we're going to use tunnel to travel between this one. And then we are also going to explore different planets. We're going to go survive in different planets and so on. So those are the things that you can review and with evidence, look at certain where we are heading towards. You can write, this is where we are going to project. We're going to go head towards. So if you write those kind of papers, very strong lah. Okay, so scoping review can be considered a preliminary step to systematic review. Okay, scoping and systematic review share a number of same processes, only a number of same processes, not all. They are differed by purposes and aims. Scoping review maps the body of literature on a topic with a broad question, not a narrow question. Systematic review, on the other hand, it sums up the best available research on a specific question. Systematic review always focuses on specific question. Okay. In a nutshell, if I explain to you, scoping review, when you do review under scoping review, you can use anything. You can use book, you can use white paper, technology paper, policies. You can use journal papers. You can use thesis also. Thesis normally they don't use. You can use conference papers and so on. But systematic review, you only can use journal papers. Journal papers from the same kind of methodology. So if you're doing systematic review in quantitative, you can only use quantitative literature. If you are informed otherwise, if people say systematic review, you can use everything, that means you're not doing systematic review. You are doing scoping review. Okay, those are the differences, widely misinterpreted. Okay, there is a very thin line between systematic review and scoping review. Scoping review, you can use all the resources to write scoping review. That's why scoping review, it's good to do at the beginning of your master's and PhD. Okay, systematic review is once you already narrow down, this is my area of research. This is my specific research question I'm going to focus on. Then I only focus on the specific journals. Those are the things become systematic review. So scoping includes a greater range of study designs and methods. Scoping provides overview of review materials, not really critical. It's not about being critical. It's more of exploration. Okay. Okay. So under Prisma scoping review checklist, there are 22 items you can follow or not follow. You can skip one, skip two. It's okay. It's totally okay. So you have title. Under title, you identify the report as a scoping review. That means you have to mention in the title. By right lah, but some people don't. This is not rigid. This is not rigid. So you can modify here in the abstract. You have a structured summary, which includes background objectives, blah, 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 all these other things. Then you have introduction, which includes, part of introduction will be your rationale, which is your motivation. Okay, so describe the rationale for the review, why you are doing this whole play in the first place. Explain why the review questions and objectives lend themselves to a scoping review approach. Then you have your objectives, item number 4. This one you provide your problem statement, your objective, and so on and so forth. Then you go to your methods. You explain your protocol. What is protocol? This is protocol. Already shared with you already. Mana Sini, okay. So these are the protocol. Okay, so if you open one of these, you can see the diagram lah. This is what we call protocol. What is included, what is excluded, what you excluded, how many you excluded, all those things lah you fill up. Okay, you can use the right one for you. You can modify in accordance to how you want it. Or you can try your own, you can draw your own style. If you look at how we have drawn ours, this is my paper, which we are going to explore very shortly. Scopus Q1 paper, scoping review. So you see, this is what I did. I never draw a big funnel. I never draw a big, protocol. I just use a simple funnel. How many article came in? How many article eliminated? How many article eliminated here? Second step. How many finally I took in? That's it. Simple. And what are the keywords I used? Done deal. Just use a funnel to depict. Or you can use a protocol diagram. Either way. Okay, so next thing, eligibility criteria. High level requirements, namely years considered, language, publication types, and so on. Information sources. Describe all about the sources, which database you use, whether it's published, unpublished, what are the dates of searches, and so on. If you did snowballing or not. If you want to know more on snowballing, I'm not explaining this class, make sure you go and watch my third class. Systematic review, scoping review. Snowballing is very, very, very important. You must know this. Okay. So make sure you use Dr. Ain's YouTube lah. Okay, I've seen the numbers increase. How many of you here have not joined my Telegram group yet? Because I've seen some new joiners. Anyone never joined my Telegram yet? Please advise me. I will give you the link so you can join and download all the items here. Okay, so we have new joiners. Let me share with you. Don't feel shy to ask. Okay, there you go. Actually, Nazwan, bibliographic review is more of a narrative review kind of thing. Okay, it doesn't really have that many protocol. No problem, Sophia. It doesn't really have that many protocol. Bibliographic review and narrative review is more or less the same, just different branding. It's like Toyota and Honda, you know. But scoping review and systematic review, they have very specific protocols to follow. Okay. Okay, then we come to thematic. Okay, thematic review is basically you can do based on the themes that you're creating on your qualitative work lah. Okay, but those review you can also include your systematic. So that becomes systematic review with qualitative approach. So then you only explore your qualitative papers. You can also do systematic review with scoping. So thematic review with scoping approach also can. That means you can go and take any kind of materials you want. Okay, so if Adila never attend my third class, go and watch. I've explained about not thematic review. I've explained about more on systematic review. Okay, so what is the approach and so on. Okay, but thematic is more useful for quali lah. That's what you normally do in quali again. All right. So next thing, you go through your search process. No problem. No worries. I have not joined. Okay, here's the link. Okay, so you click this link, City. Click that link. You can go through. You can see all my free video classes there, and then you can also see Telegram group, Facebook group. You go join everything lah. Just click everything, whatever you like. Okay. And then under search process, you define your keywords, your Boolean operators, and everything else related to your search process. And then selection of evidence. Okay, source material for scoping review. This is the major difference. Entirely different from systematic approach. Here it's more inclusive, okay, and heterogeneous. Systematic review is homogeneous, okay. Excuse me. Homo means one kind only. Hetero, many kind. Okay. So heterogeneous to include quanti, quali, expert opinion, policy documents, books, and white papers. You can include all of this lah. Don't include scam journals, please don't. Right? Okay, next you go to, still in methods, then you go for data charting process, you build a literature matrix, which is a common thing. Data items, list and define all variables themes related to research. Critical appraisal, okay, I've given you an example here already. Don't worry, I'll share the slides with you, okay? So make sure you provide your email address to Dr. Ain. Later she will share with me so I can send you all the notes today. There are several notes I'm going to share with you today, very important ones. So I've already explained to you how to write your critical appraisal. Synthesis of results, how the evidence results will be presented, either narrative format, table, visual, or including map or diagram. Okay, then only you go to your results part. Results part is where you zoom in Okay, zoom in into all the other matters lah. That means all the interpretation of what you explain in method. Dr. Johan, later you can pass it to Ain. No, don't share it in the chat box. Later you can pass it to Dr. Ain. I think she'll collect later. She'll probably provide. I think she collected already, or later she'll collect. Wait for the link, and then you can fill up all the information there, so that they'll no problem. No, it's okay. No worries. So later they'll just give me the Excel file. I'll email to everyone. Okay. So don't need to share in the chat box. Okay, so next thing, when it comes to results, you go for selection of source of evidence, which you explain your inclusion exclusion. Characteristics of source of evidence, basically explain the matrix. Okay, for those who don't know how to do inclusion exclusion, yang don't know, never done before, it is a very big question on how to do. Go and see this template in my Telegram group. SLR inclusion templates, you can see this. You go through this, all right? So this will explain to you how you can actually define. I've given a title. Based on the title, you can see how I define what is included, what is excluded, and so on. Okay? I hope that will be helpful for you. Okay, then critical appraisal within source of evidence, results of individual source of evidence. So this one I'll give you later, you can go through. So basically you connect your matrix back to RORQ, you explain your matrix here. This one not really required. Normally people don't do this. You can ignore that totally. Synthesis of results, okay. Then the final outcome. Design a conceptual framework, mapping, narrative description to convey the uncovered findings of the scoping review exercise. Okay. All right, so next thing we go to discussion, summary of evidence, summarize main findings and link them to original RORQ, limitations, conclusions, funding. These are all the total 22 items under scoping review. Okay, now let's design step one. What is step one? Step one is the 10 pages proposal. And from there, how do you move to scoping review? Under 10 pages proposal, you will have introduction. Okay, so use title as an anchor. Start with your problem, your dependent variable. Continue with your solutions, which will be your independent variables. Or your solutions, either way, depending on what kind of methodology you're using. Then, background to problem statement to RORQ. That will be the next part for you to explore as part of 10 pages proposal. So you start broad, okay, related to problems or DV, use statistics to narrow, introduce literature, problem statement, RORQ, then you introduce a significant of study, and if you require operation definitions, if required. Then you go to literature review section. Under literature review, you'll have theory, you'll have your hypothesis if required, or your literature review. Propose conceptual model or any kind of solution that you're going to propose, whether chemical composition, mathematical model, or you propose experimental system or whatever, it all comes here. This is only necessary if you're doing quanti, otherwise you don't need to. Under methodology, you have your research design, sampling, instrument validation, data collection, analysis. You can have all of that, or you can just have a summary of it. So from here, how do you convert this into scoping review or a review paper? So that is how you do your matching. Okay, literally that's how you copy across lah. So no, sorry, abstract, no, it's here. So that's how you migrate your content. So all of it will be going here. No, significance won't go there. Okay, then okay, literature review will go here. This one won't go under conceptual paper lah. This one won't go. This significance will go here. Discussion. Okay. So if you look at the differences here, from a 10 pages proposal, or chapters 1 to 3, more or less the same, the structure, and a review paper, you can see the difference is this. You won't do this. Okay. And you'll need to focus more on discussion. You won't use this. This will be useless because this is your empirical methodology, not your review methodology. So you need to expand more on discussion. You need to create your own methodology for your review paper if you use scoping or systematic. If you use narrative, don't need. Just move on here. Go straight away and just move on with it. Okay. So that is the whole scenario. Now let's go to hands-on search process. Okay. Under search processes, you can explore all the databases. Use my database template in my Telegram group. So for all subject area, you can explore Web of Science, Scopus, Google Scholar, Archive, Ulrich, Science Direct, Directory Open Access, GS Store. For medical, you can look at eyesight, PubMed, engineering, Inspire, HAP, IEEE, Explore, IMAC, and then social science, CLAW, ERIC. Okay, these two. All of these, the links are given already in Telegram. You don't even need to go on Google. Just open my PDF, start clicking all the links. Okay, so now we are going to go hands-on. We're going to see how we can search for information. So for that, I want to go back to my own paper. So I'm going to look at this paper that I co-authored with my colleagues. Open Innovation of Institutional Investors and Higher Education System in Creating Open Approach for SDG for Sustainable Development Growth for Quality Education, a Conceptual Review. Okay, so I'm going to demo with this paper. These are the keywords used: institutional investors, higher education. My Boolean is going to be N. My years is going to be 2011, 2021. Filters we are going to explore together. I already know what filters, but we just explore together. So let's go to the paper now. This is the paper I'm talking about, published this year, March. Okay. Whatever paper that I publish with my colleagues, whether from UTP or from any other universities, I always become the last author because I have no KPI. Okay, so it doesn't really matter where I'm positioned. Unless I have my single author paper, then I'm always the first author. But otherwise, I'm always the last author. I volunteer to be last. Okay, so this paper was written 25th January, accepted by 1st March. Okay, so this is a new, not so new, but soon will be Web of Science. But so far, it's only Scopus Q1. So under 36 days, we got the acceptance. But not exactly all the time, because before this acceptance, we had 4 rejections from MDPI. Yes, I do get rejections. Everyone get rejection. Okay? It is part and parcel of our life. Methodology. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, this article has explored this Web of Science and Scopus database, the largest, oldest indexing databases. They are widely utilized in several review articles. In this search of both databases, we found 35 articles from Scopus and 27 articles from Web of Science. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you, how to get these numbers. Thank you, Ms. Adila. Thanks a lot. Okay, so I'm going to first start with Web of Science, very, very important database. For those who don't use Web of Science and only use Scopus, you are making a very big mistake. Okay, very big mistake. You must always exploit Web of Science. Okay, it is the Ferrari of research. This is only Toyota of research. Okay, so never miss out Web of Science. So 27 article. How did I get that? So let's go to Web of Science. Okay, this is the Web of Science where you go and search for articles. All right. So first we go for topic. So these documents, under documents, you select, you got many options here. But in my case, I select topic directly and I type institutional investor. Okay. So again, the keywords are given here. Let me just quickly repeat that. The keywords are given here. So keywords, it's either institutional investors and education or institutional investors and higher education. I use this. This is not very suitable. This is much better. Okay, then I add row. Okay, my Boolean can be N or not. I use N. Another topic, I select topic as well. Then I go for higher education. Okay, then I add date range. Okay, date here will be publication date. I go custom because I did 10 years. So I did 2011-01-01, 1st January from 2011. Then I did 2021, December 31st until end of 2021. Okay, because this was done last year and published this year, March. Okay, so these are my inputs. So I click search. Okay, so I get 40 results. How if I do the same in Google Scholar? So if I do institutional investors and higher education, I get 1 million, right? Yeah, 1,760 papers. So if I do sort by date, sorry, not sort by date. I go custom range years. I go 2011 to 2021. I search again. I get 17,000 papers. Okay, this higher education. So let me just remove that. Sorry. Okay. So I actually get 17,000 papers. Let's say if I put my quotation to make it one single word, I get still 8,000 papers. I am not going to filter through 8,000 papers. I don't have the time. I don't have the luxury for that. So I will just completely ignore Google Scholar. That's which is totally okay. So I just stick to, because Academic Web of Science, my keywords, I only have 40 results. That's it. From these 40 results, I need to now narrow down to is the paper? Paper is here. So, Web of Science, I only have 27 articles. So, I need to filter now. How do I filter? I have all these options at the side here. So, let me quickly, because we're already running out of time, so I'll quickly show you what filter I use. And we're not going to go through a quiz today. So, you have years, quick filters, document types, database, research areas, authors, publication source, titles. You go all the way down, you got research domains. I prefer to use research domains. So, since social science, I put social science, I refine. I go 37 now. I scroll down further. I go article and review article, because under systematic review, you cannot include review article. You can only include article. But scoping review, you can include review and article. That means empirical paper and review paper. That is another major difference between scoping and systematic. So I refine again. I get 29. Okay, final filter. So you can see all the filters here. Research domain, social science, document types, article or review article. Okay, so next point, we go for database. I only want Web of Science. I don't care about Korean journal database. So I refine again. And then I get 27. So this is the 27 that reflects back on what we have mentioned here. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Any questions so far?
Sorry, Doctor, I'm Faika. I just want to ask you whether, as if the discipline is cross-discipline, is it okay for us to do the filtering about the domain in terms of
Okay.
science and also science-based? Is it possible?
You can. You can do social science, science, technology, or technology. You can do which one is more appropriate for you, or you can also use you can also use research areas. This one is another option. So you can also go through all of this. Okay, but I prefer research domain because I already have my keywords here, and I want to get the entire research domain because I don't want to miss out on any papers. So if you don't mind filtering more, then you can do social science, science, technology, and technology. You can.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay? No problem, no worries. Okay, any other questions? Okay, we have from Nazwan. Kindly repeat again on the scoping and SLR. Okay, so for scoping review, for scoping review, you can use article and review article for document types. But for systematic review, you can only use article. Systematic review doesn't allow a review article. Okay, you must go only with empirical papers. These are empirical papers. These are review papers. Okay. Zamri, Web of Science accessible. No, it is not free. Web of Science is not free. You need to go through your university. You need to go through Open Athens. No problem, Nazwan. And Thomas, I saw some sources use a different method to search. Depends on what you want. So example, if you say that if I use or here, if I use institution investor or higher education, that means I'll go for papers that uses either institution investor or higher education. I don't want that. I want only a paper that talks about institution investor and higher education together. I don't want separately. Okay, if you use or, then you'll get more papers where they will say they'll talk about higher education but doesn't talk about institutional investors. You'll get papers that talks about institutional investors but doesn't talk about higher education. I don't want that. It's irrelevant for my topic. So according to your topic, you can refine the keywords. Okay. Intan, yes, scoping review is article plus review article plus books plus policies plus white papers plus you can include up to you. You can include everything. In our case, we include only review article and empirical article. We remove conference. Okay, we never take conference. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. I hope that is loud and clear. So, Web of Science done. Now, next thing I need to show you also very important. If you look at the paper, we have all these diagrams. This one shows exponential increase of the readers' interest in this particular topic. You can see it's slowly rising. And then you can also see number of publication over the kind of journal papers. All of these are high impact papers to show the credibility of the area. And then we can also see over the time, more authors are exploring this area. You can see the numbers are actually increasing. Okay. So how to get all these analytics? How to get all these numbers? Very simple. Before I go to Scopus, I'll explore this directly. So as part of Analytics Web of Science, we go to Analyze Results. Okay, before that. Sophia, can I put the keyword including both and also or? Yes, you can. No problem. Of course you can. You can do both. Depending on the topic, you can do, I think you can do, one moment. I think you can do and or not. All right. If you have not, you don't want those papers, then you just say not. Okay. Okay, so let me go back again. When you want to analyze analytics, you click Analyze Results. Once you click that, you go here, you click bar chart. Bar chart here, you can see all the information will be here. This is according to subject area. So you can choose here. You can choose here research areas. I want publication, yes. Okay, to show how it's increasing. So you can see an exponential increase. 2020 is more than 2021, but it'll go something like that and then drop a bit. Okay. So this is Web of Science. And then you can also look at a database. Which database? Okay, sorry, this one is only Web of Science. You look at which one was it? Publication, yeah. Publication title. You can see all the publication exploited. Then you can also look at authors. Who are the authors? Okay, so you can also look at bar chart. You can see the bar chart. All right, so those are the things that we can do. Adam, what do we do if we get too few results? That means you need to expand your keywords more. More keywords. That means you put too little keywords. Okay? All right, so that means you need to expand your inclusion criteria. You need to reduce your exclusion criteria. All right, so next part is let's go to Scopus. We go to Scopus. So under Scopus, we have 35 articles. We found 35 articles from Scopus database. Okay. So under Scopus, okay, this is how Scopus is. I think most of you will know Scopus. So we choose all fields, not article, title, abstract keywords. I want all fields. So I search institutional investors, the spelling is not right. Okay, institutional investors. Then we go for, again, all fields. We type higher education. And then we add date range. We go present to publish all years, not all years. We go 2011. Okay, we go 2011 to 2021. Okay, so anytime. So clear, all fields, institutional investors, and all fields higher education 2011, 2021. Click search. Okay, while you're searching, Sophia, how many articles did you, okay, how many articles is not an answer, is not a question that you should ever ask or your supervisor should ask. None of them knows how many articles you can get because every subject area is different. Every inclusion, like we are coaching one student now, okay? His supervisor asked for 150 articles. But his subject area, you cannot find 150 articles. So I told the student to speak to the supervisor when he does the keyword search and everything, ask him to show the evidence that he cannot get 150 articles. It's definitely less than 100. And from there, when you apply inclusion criteria, it's even more lesser. Okay. So unless you purposefully want to show more, then you just simply include unnecessary keywords lah. But it's just wasting time. Okay, just waste of time. So it's totally depending on you. But how to know an estimation? Look at the most recent systematic review paper in your area. From there, you can roughly have an idea. Okay. So from here, 2,878 documents. I'm not going to go through this amount of documents in this lifetime. No way. Okay. So something is definitely wrong. Because when Web of Science is showing 40, how come Scopus showing 2,800? Something is definitely wrong. So Dr. Egmil, I pernah buat thematic review paper untuk Web of Science. Saya guna topik, tapi untuk Scopus saya guna all fields. Tapi reviewer komen kenapa saya tak guna similar method iaitu guna topik. Because you have to explain to reviewer topic in Web of Science and all fields in Scopus are the same. Because topic doesn't represent only abstract, title and so on. That is the overall option given in Web of Science, if I'm not mistaken lah. Okay, but in Scopus it's more refined. Okay, so that's what you do. So this shows that, let me just double check. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I always use topic. I never explore other options because no reviewers asked me this before. But as far as I know, they are the same lah. Those are the same criteria. Let's see. So if you see here, you have topic, okay, which search title. Oh, okay, actually topic, search title, abstract, indexing. But you don't have searching all option. Okay, title, author, publication source titles, year published. You don't have everything here. So no choice. So that's what you have to explain. Under Web of Science, that is the limitation where it only allows you to, you can explain the review comments, only allow you to search either topic, title, author, publication source titles, or year published. And further to that, you can also include publication date, abstract, address, or author identifiers, DOI, editor, group author. So there is no option such as shown in Scopus where, let me close this, where, edit, where you can search all fields or article title abstract keywords. So it's not being inconsistent, but we want to cover all the scope. Okay. Because you can tell them you have, because you can explain that you have more options here, better option. You don't want to, it's like, how to say, how to explain this? It's like, I know consistency is one thing, but one more thing is that you have a better option. Okay, you can explain them since there is a better option in Scopus. So I use this. What you can do is to satisfy the review, you can also do a search with title, abstract, keyword and show maybe you get only limited number of papers. Because what you can tell is, you can tell end of the day whether I use article, title, abstract, keywords, or if I do all fields, I'm still using the same inclusion exclusion criteria. I'm not using inconsistent inclusion exclusion criteria. Since I use the same inclusion exclusion criteria, it is not going to impact me if I use all fields and if I get more papers. It is only going to benefit me or benefit the paper. That's how you can explain. Our Web of Science, we don't have that option, which is the limitation of the database itself. It is not my limitation. Okay? So that's how you have to explain to them lah. Because end of the day, inclusion exclusion is what matters the most. That is the most consistent part that you use. Okay. All right. So that's actually a very good question. First time I'm getting that question. It's a very intelligent question, but very easily you can tackle that lah. Okay. So now going back to this. Okay. So all defined. Let me search again. All right. So 2,878 documents, which is not true because Web of Science okay. Web of Science has lesser papers indexed compared to Scopus. Scopus, I'm coming to that, but I'm coming to that actually. So that is the thing that I wanted to check. So what is the mistake here? Okay, the mistake here is, as what Maram indicated, I never put quotation marks in Scopus. Okay, Web of Science you don't need to. Scopus you need to put quotation mark. That's why you get more papers. What is the problem here is, if you don't put quotation mark, you will be searched individually. Institutional will be searched, investors will be searched, higher will be searched, education will be searched separately. You don't want that. So what you want, you want to put quotation mark. Thank you very much, yeah? So you see this is wrong. So you need to put quotation marks here. So, see that. Remove that. Click search. Now you search. So now you see all one word only and all one word only, and you get 359, which is more reasonable because Scopus indexes more papers than Web of Science, because Scopus includes sometimes very low standard journal also. Web of Science, on the other hand, is like Ferrari. Put it this way: how many Ferraris you see on the road? How many Mercedes you see on the road? Put Scopus as Mercedes, Ferrari as Web of Science. As simple as that. Okay. So let me quickly filter here. This filtration is very simple. For Scopus, normally I just go keywords. I don't disturb anything else. Okay, I just don't, not even subject area. I just go straight to my keyword. I click view all. I search for the ones that is directly related to my topic. Sustainability development. Why? Because SDG is my main keyword here. Okay. Then corporate education is one more. Then we go for institutional investors. Then here we can look for more. We can take institutional investor here, which is singular, not plural. That's the difference. Here we'll have nothing. Okay. And then here is higher education institutions. That's it. The rest are irrelevant. So I put limit 2. Once I put limit 2, I get 34. But you must ask the right question. But why your paper put 35? Until 2 months ago, I would say about 2 months ago, I was getting 35. Okay. Because I'm running this class for full quarter now. Until 1 month ago, I think 1 or 2 months ago, I was still getting 35. But now I only get 34. Because Scopus will do audit every March, April sometimes, but usually September, October they'll do audit. After the Scopus audit, they will start kicking out all the scam journals, okay, or all the journals that does not meet the Scopus requirement. They might not fulfill some of the criteria. They will kick out, okay. So therefore, when you search, it might not appear. That's why I have one journal down now. Okay, but it doesn't matter. I publish already. But when you do, in case after some time when you redo, you'll be like, oh, let's say let's say in the situation where Dr. Ekmil, so the some reviewers do one, they'll go search. So you say, hey, you get 200 papers. I'm only get 199 papers or 198 papers. And then you can use the justification that from Scopus, maybe they would have done the audit, maybe they have kicked out the journal. It's okay. I can definitely update. So I update 198. So you have to go through and see which journal is not there. Like that, okay? All right, these are all very nitty-gritty stuff lah. A lot of people don't know about this, but these are the problems that you might face. Okay, and this one you must copy, copy and keep this. These are the keywords that you use. Copy and keep this. Okay, any other questions before we move on? Okay, very good. All right, very good. So let's close all of the. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Very important one. Analyze search result. Okay, so once you go analyze search result, then you will get all the information that you need. Okay, documents per year, you can see the exponential curve. You can look at the authors, how many of them have written. Okay, then you can see documents per year by source. What are the journals? So you can click this, you can see these are the journals usually published, and so on and so forth. So you can jot down all this data. After you do exclusion criteria, then you can fulfill all the data. Okay, but for now you can download and keep all these numbers, all this information. Can we put this analysis in the scope? Yeah, of course you can. Definitely, but you need to merge lah. You need to merge both and put only one result. Okay. All right. So done all this. My inclusion exclusion was very simple because this area is very, very niche, very new. So I remove duplication. How to remove duplication? Anyone can answer me. So you download from Web of Science, you download from Scopus. How do you remove duplication? Because there will be overlapping papers. Anyone can give any idea how do you remove duplication? Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Madam. Thank you very much. You can use EndNote. Thank you, Adila. Also, you can use Mendeley. Either way, you can use both. Use the citation manager. Upload all the citation that you download. upload and ask them, the flow will filter for you. You don't need to worry. Okay, the flow use the metadata to filter. All right, so make sure you use EndNote or Mendeley. Don't go one by one and remove the duplication. That is a waste of time. And I also removed conferences. Despite doing scoping review, I didn't want to go for conferences because it will undermine the quality of the paper. So I don't want conferences. Okay, so that is that. Theoretical and conceptual frameworks. What is theoretical framework? I think we are very experienced people, so we know what is theoretical framework. Theoretical framework is nothing but the creation of human beings. So when you create and find a result, we come up with a theory saying that, like my hourglass theory. Okay, if I publish that, then it's a theory already. Okay, so theory is a natural progression of a phenomenon. You collect data, you do analysis, you say this is how the behavior is, and then you create a theory out of it. But usually theory, you need to do grounded theory, and you need to come up from quali and so on. That's the right process. Okay, so it improved empiricism. Okay, got more evidence. No theoretical framework equals to not so varied results or principles or fundamentals and so on. A blueprint borrowed to build the research part. Actually, theoretical framework is a kind of blueprint. Consists of principles, constructs, and concepts of a theory. Theory should resonate problem. Okay, literature review, method, discussion, conclusion. Theory selection comes from problem, purpose, significance, and argues. How to select a theory? You can also look another method. Very nice, simple method is go to again, whoever haven't joined my Telegram group, let me know. Go to my literature matrix template. Okay, right there. Open this. This is the best way for you to decide a theoretical framework. So when you do your literature review, when you do your based on a review, you do your what do you call that? Your matrix. From there, you can include all the theory, and then you can look at the most suitable one that you want to fulfill. Okay, from here you can decide whether 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or how many theories you want to use. Some people will say, my supervisor say, I need to use. We have many supervisors here also. We have to use 3 theories. There is no such thing. Okay, you only use theories that you want. There is a gap that you want to fulfill. Okay, you don't need to purposefully force to have 2 to 3 theories. There is no actual impact to it. Okay, there is no actual impact to it. It just makes it more complicated. That's about it. Okay. All right. So conceptual framework. Don't worry about conceptual framework. And you have a theory and you have a problem related to the theory. The outcome of that is a conceptual framework. That's it. So I don't want to go through all of this. But why I'm going through this is to tell you, okay, this one also I'll share the slide sheet. You can go through the differences. Why I'm going through all this is to tell you why you should write concept papers. Because concept papers will bridge existing theories, link past papers across disciplines, provide multi-level insights, and pave way to new gaps. Okay, but you might tell me that sorry, next one is coming. Okay, the upcoming slides, I will tell you that why conceptual framework, not necessarily you must have hypothesis only. Okay, actually, a conceptual framework can be done by any subject area. I'll show you very shortly. But before that, let's go back to our step 1, which is our 10 pages proposal. I already shared this earlier, explained this earlier already. This is the structure of your 10 pages proposal. Okay, so why do we do this? Why do we do this research? Why do we do this in the first place? To solve a problem, whether social or scientific, we intend to contribute back to fundamentals, principles, or theories. That is academic research. Fundamentals, principles, theories naturally become real-life applications, end of the day. So, before that, for those who don't understand where step 1 comes, or if you are stuck, whether student or supervisors, when you are stuck, or you don't know the entire research flow, what to do next, what is next, and so on. Let me explain this framework that I usually use when I coach and consult PhD students and supervisors for their publication. This is my PhD consultancy and also master's consultancy framework. These are the 11 steps that I use normally for graduate before time, but nowadays I don't use that word because I don't really pressure people. Because I graduated before time, but once I explore and talk to more people, then I tend to understand that it's actually very tough on a lot of people. So we don't want to get mentally stressed and so on. If you can, that's very good. If you're a student or you as a student can get graduate before time, very good. Graduate on time, perfect. But if you can't, don't worry about it. But if you can, it's definitely better because you save a lot of time. Like myself, I never did masters, and my PhD, I also graduated before time. So by the time I did postdoc, I was only 26 years old. I was very young. I was the youngest postdoc in the entire Birmingham. I mean, in my university in Birmingham. So my PhD students that I supervised were way more elder than me. Okay, so I tend to explore a lot during my young age. Okay, so now when it comes to framework, 11 steps framework, you have PhD proposal, we have PhD thesis. So I split into two phases. So under these two phases, PhD proposal, you always start, or master's proposal, you start with 10 pages proposals. That's what I call step one, which includes, let me just scroll through, very simple. I have an example here, which I'm going to share with you. Let me open it. Step one. Okay, there you go. Okay, so, I need to stress on this. This is a step one proposal that I coached before. Okay, I coached and the student produced these 10 pages, but I have blinded a lot of place, okay, so that the information doesn't leak out. Okay, like example, it's not actually Middle East and it's not actually only extrinsic. There are a lot of things I've changed here. So some things might not make sense to you when I send this to you, when I share this with you, for those who are actually struggling to write proposal. If you find what doesn't make sense, the explanation, just leave it, okay? Because I've filtered a lot of things here so that the information doesn't leak out. And also, I never include the conceptual framework down here, okay? Because we want to keep it for publication later. Okay, so the topic is effect of extrinsic motivation on organizations' e-crime prevention, moderating role of employee e-crime, awareness in the Middle East. Actually, not Middle East, it's just one country, but I just put in Middle East, okay? So we start with introduction. Okay, then we go to sort of background. This is part of background, cyber security in Middle East. Then we go to problem statement. Okay, you as a supervisor also, if you practice this, if you're practicing this already, then it's fantastic. But if you don't, this is actually very good because you tend to capture what your client, your student is doing immediately rather than waiting all the way to chapters 1 to 3. This is what I would advise. Okay, so next thing, research questions, research objectives, significance of the study. Then we go literature review. So it follows this flow. It follows this structure. It follows this structure very, very closely to a certain extent. Then we go literature review. Okay, from there we go to theoretical perspective. Okay, so then these are all the underpinning theories. And then from there, we go to proposed research framework, hypothesis development, if you're required to develop hypothesis. And then proposed methodology, just one paragraph only, done, 10 pages, finish. Remove all the references for privacy requirement. Okay, so this is what we call 10 pages proposal, which will indicate, okay, which will inform a supervisor entirely the idea or scope of what the student is thinking. Okay, so you you can analyze very easily from this. All right. So from that, once you've done that, once your supervisor say okay, or your supervisor feel it's good, okay, once you get, or they say okay, I need more explanation, more information, then you move to chapters 1 to 3. Okay, you do your full proposal, chapters 1 to 3, which will be about usually 60 to 80 pages. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Angela, can you mute, please? Thank you. Okay, so full proposal, chapters 1 to 3. Once that is finished, I would strongly advise you to proofread. Okay, not necessarily with us. You can choose anyone you want. But Grammarly alone would not be sufficient because it doesn't give structural improvement. And when you go for proposal defense, when you're meeting a set of examiners, you don't want to go with not up to par language. I'm not telling all your languages are bad. Some people are really good, but being Malaysian, I don't think English is our first language, so you might have problem there. So this is a strong recommendation. But if you don't want to do, it's totally up to you. But from my result, just recently, this class, if you go watch this particular class, let me just share very quickly. Okay, so this is the link tree. For those who don't know what is link tree, okay, I shared the link earlier. I can share again for new joiners. This is Facebook group, Telegram group. These are free video classes. You click this, then you can go to all the classes. Okay, if you go to all these free classes, you can see here, PhD after time with award-winning thesis. So Dr. Irfan Dr. Irfan is part of my, what do you call that? I conducted this class with him. So he passed his PhD with massively, almost no correction. Massively minor correction. The examiner gave correction because he had to give correction. And this thesis went through paraphrasing, proofreading, editing, and structuring. And the thesis actually won award. Okay, although it took 6 years to finish PhD, but the thesis won award because of the clarity that the thesis had. Paraphrasing really helped a lot. Okay, we worked on the thesis personally, so I know this thesis very much. I think it's from UITM as well, Dr. Irfan. Yeah, he's from UITM. Punchalam. Yes, he's from UITM Punchalam, Dr. Irfan. So, very good. He received very good result. At the same time, I also had another student who I coached, but never had time to proofread. Okay, I coached, but never had time to proofread. And unfortunately, the student received major correction and reviva. The sole reason is proofreading because they cannot follow the language. The student's language was quite bad. So these are the two actual scenario, very polarizing scenario that I observed. Okay, so it's very, very important that you don't annoy your examiners by having not written with very, very strong language, very good structured language. Okay. For Arnie, if you want to discuss about proofreading and so on, you can reach out to me. This is my link. Okay. My WhatsApp link. You can reach out to me and we can discuss. And for those who want to reach out, that is the WhatsApp link directly linking to me. Okay. So it's very, 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 very crucial that you do this. And then from my hourglass theory, this is where you extract your two journals, your conceptual paper with your scoping review, if you wish to do scoping review, and then your systematic review. And then make sure that you go for mock defense and your PowerPoint teaching if you want to, how to do PowerPoint. But my advice always 60, 40 or 70, 30. What is that? 60 or 70% diagram, 40 or 30% words. That's it. The lesser the words that you use, it gives a very positive message to your examiners that you know exactly what is going on. If you have more words and you tend to read out from slides, they will have very suspicious feeling that you don't know what is going on. And I can tell you, me as a PhD graduate, and for all the supervisors out there, they know that if they know the student is not good enough to graduate, the examiners will tear you into pieces. They will never give you a PhD because they know how hard it is to get PhD. All right. Oh, thank you, Dr. Ekmil. How are the two papers published already? Was it okay? If you do have any issues, do let me know. Okay. I'm very glad that you're very happy with the outcome of the proofreading. Thank you very much. Okay, and for those who think that, okay, I probably need to have a bit of coaching on the slides, a bit of coaching on how to do defense and so on, you can definitely get in touch. That is part and parcel of what we do. So every parts of this we coach. Okay, of course, proofreading we don't coach, we just do it. And then even the journal as well. So for those supervisors who actually struggle, they say, I don't know how to extract journal, or I have no time and so on, that also we actually strategize. Okay, proposal defense we don't do, that is your part. Okay, and then defense correction. If you're exhausted at this part, you can always dial in. We see what we can do, how to actually coach you and tell you to go on the right direction. Okay, data collection, of course, on your own. Chapters 4 and 5, if you need coaching on Smart PLS, consultant in Smart PLS, what was the other one? Amos, MATLAB, we even do MATLAB also, but very selected, eViews and so on. And for Quali, we do NVivo, we don't do Atlas. All right. Dr. Ekme, I already received comment from reviewers and amended them with decision. All the best to you. Okay, wish you really all the best. Okay. Then we have step number 9. This is very, very crucial step, where you carry your corrected chapters 1 to 3, and then you take your chapters 4 and 5, you combine. This combine is not just take chapter 1 to 3 and 4 and 5 and just paste together, not like that, Once you finish 4 and 5, you have to go back to 1 to 3. Your 1 and 2, okay, this is how normally you'll coach. For 1 and 2, you need to go and update the references because your reference might have expired depending on how long you've taken from your chapters 1 to 3 to your chapters 4 and 5. Because if you finish chapter 1 to 3, you have taken holiday, for 1 to 2 years, and then you go back 4 and 5, it's already expired. Reference is very old already. But if you're consistently pushing through, then you don't need to spend so much of time updating the references. And then you expand. Okay, you expand your chapters 1 and 2 as you as you please according to your, as you wish according, not as you wish, as you follow according to your chapters 4 and 5. All right, this is a very, very, very crucial step. And then you extract two more journals. As I indicated earlier, you can look into meta-analysis. We also do a lot of meta-analysis. And then I have only one or two meta-analysis experts. They're quite good. I myself, I don't do meta-analysis, okay? And then empirical papers, okay? This one is extremely, extremely, extremely important, okay? Because this one, even if you get bombarded, it's only your internal examiners, okay? You might get bombarded from UITM. It's still acceptable, but you don't want to annoy someone that is coming from outside. This is your guest. Okay, when you have a guest coming reading your thesis, make sure it's at top notch. All right, and then again, same stuff. Proposal defense viva. Okay, if you want to have mock viva, you want to have a bit more confidence, you want someone to tear you into pieces, get in touch. Okay, go for viva, minor or major correction, nothing to worry. If you're very much depressed already at this point, you really need some advice, get in touch. Okay, so how do we normally advise for supervisors and also students? Supervisor, obviously, publication lah. So we have something called mode 1 and mode 2, content commenting and online coaching. So we give a lot of comments based on what you have written, and then we can do online coaching to explain. For those who are just starting off their proposal or thesis or paper, they want to get like step-by-step guidance, then we call that accelerated thesis or publication consultancy, where we do a very detailed coaching plan. Okay, we go through section by section. We appoint a consultant and they have scheduled meet with you on Google Meet. We go through, we explain to you how to write, whatever literature that we find, we will share with you. You write everything. You come back to us, we'll give you comments how to improve. This one very, very detailed one. This is very, very good for beginners. And then, or for people who are struggling. And then content editing only for special cases. Okay, mostly publication and so on. All right. So, step 1 sample I've shown you already, what you need to have in a sample. I'll share that sample with you, especially for students. It'll be helpful for you. And then step 1 to scoping review. Okay, how do you convert that? Let's quickly build a paper. So I've created a template already. I think that would do. Okay, this one already. Okay, this is the basic template, very raw form. Because part of our expertise is, if I go back to my website, part of our expertise is I don't know, my website's so slow. Or my internet is slow. Okay, if it comes up, then I'll show you. I don't know what happened. Just give me a moment here. Okay. So, okay. So how do we come up with this template? Because part of our focus consultancy service is thesis to journal conversion. So we normally have a sort of template. So this is part of that very raw template that I have. We have title, then you have abstract. Okay, title, usual stuff lah. Okay, abstract, you can do your structured abstract. Okay, then introduction, review questions, keywords, methods, search strategy, keywords, Boolean, databases, inclusion, exclusion, graphic illustrations. You know what is graphic illustration? I already shown you just now. New theoretical framework development, literature matrix, discussion, conclusion. Okay. So what I did was I did a very quick transfer of information just to show you how you can transfer from this proposal to this document. So title transferred, authors obviously know. Abstract, I can only do that once I complete the paper. Okay, then we have introduction. Okay, so I copy across all the introduction, all the way until your background and problem statement and only the research questions. I never include the objective. You can further refine the questions if you want to. Okay, this one I never fill up because I did not do systematic or scoping review. So you can either remove it and just focus on narrative review, or you can do your search everything back and fulfill the requirement of systematic and scoping review. That means you need to modify here and there when you do back your search. All right. Then as part of your new theoretical framework development literature matrix, you copy in all your literature review and theoretical part. Okay, you need This is not final. You need to refine a lot more, but just showing how quickly you can build a raw paper. So to speed up your process, your theoretical perspective, and then your proposed research framework. Of course, there's no framework here. Your hypothesis development, and then you can also not include the hypothesis. It is fine. Okay. And then your discussion, I take it from significance of study, and then I'll further elaborate that according to policy implication and practical implication if you can predict already. And then finally, conclusion, reference. That's it. That is the conversion. Okay, of course, you need to do more than that, but that is the base conversion that we normally do. Okay, so that is that. Let me close all of this. Okay, now coming to the conceptual framework. You might think, conceptual framework I don't have because I don't do quanti. Okay, if you do quanti, this is a quantitative framework. This is from Dr. Parvez, my very close colleague, who was my client, and now we write papers together. So this was published in Impact Factor 11 point something, Taylor and Francis, conceptual paper. Okay, I've only seen 2 in my life so far. One is from China, one is from Malaysia. I've never seen many. Web of Science, concept paper. And this one used narrative review, not systematic, not scoping. Completely only narrative review. So a quantitative framework, empirical data required to prove relationship, hypothesis will be derived. Now, in the case of not having quantitative framework, okay, this is an example from an engineering paper, conceptual framework. Okay, a conceptual expression of a solution. This is also Q1, Elsevier 5.4 or 5.8 impact factor. Building engineering. I'll show you the journal shortly. This one. Okay, this paper is this. This paper, let me see if I've opened. No, I never opened. Let me show you which paper is this. This is narrative conceptual review. This paper. Okay, Wiley, sorry, not Taylor Francis, Wiley. Business strategy and the environment, thus adoption of ISO 56000 to 2019 and green innovation. So you can see this is the framework. Okay, this is the final framework. Oops, I missed that. Went down. Okay, that's the final framework. Okay, this one is business strategy and the environment, which is business strategy and the environment. The impact factor is, I think something wrong with my network. Can everyone still hear me clearly? Is my sound clear?
Clearly.
Okay, all right. I think something wrong with my Chrome. Yeah, very slow. Okay, anyway, I'll show you the impact factor later once it's loaded. Then you have this one. Okay, if you look at this one is not hypothesis, not quantitative framework, nothing. It's basically talking about maintenance issues in Malaysia and what is required under that. They have already firmed up a framework. Recommendation to solve the issues. What are the recommendation? And maintenance management. What are the maintenance management best practices? Okay. I also share this sample paper with you guys. I think it's part of the notes today. Yeah, I think. So this is a very good concept paper from UPM PBS, Putra Business School. Concept paper, narrative review, Scopus Q2 Emerald. Very good paper to look at if you want to have an example. This is narrative review. This is the paper I'll share with you. Journal of Building Engineering. This framework, okay, this one came from this engineering paper. Concept paper, systematic review, Q1 impact factor 5.318 Elsevier. So these are all the papers that we actually have our fingerprint on. That's why I know these papers personally. And this is a very good scoping review paper from Yemen and They collaborated. Q1 impact factor 3.752 under medical area, which I also share a sample if you want to see medical area paper. So how important is proofreading? I think most of you know how important it is. The paper from UTM, Journal of Building Engineering, went through that amount of transformation. Okay, but this is paraphrasing, proofreading, editing, structuring, and went on with accepted with minor correction. Okay, accept minor correction, and that is a transformation that we really push through. Okay, we really put a lot of time to get from the raw form to the tracking form. It takes a lot of work. Okay, another very good example is Dr. Harold's own paper. This was his, I think, 7th paper we worked on. Now we are already at his 16th paper. We're working together since 2019, 2018, I think. Okay, so this is now is 17th paper. So this particular paper is very important if you want to do systematic review in social science area. This is a guideline paper for developing systematic literature review. You can have a look at this paper, SCI Q1, impact factor 4.3, and that is what the paper went through. He is a fan of paraphrasing, Harold. Once he writes, he wants me to revamp the whole paper, and that is what the paper goes through lah. Okay, very very important, and the result is actually very good. Why it's very important to do that? Because when you have very good content, which Harold always has very good content, and when you have not very good language, people will find it hard to understand or appreciate. But at the same time, if you have not very good content and you expect to just do proofreading and publish, won't happen also. Because when readers are happy to read, but there is no value. So when you have good content and very good language, readers appreciate the value and love to read. Okay, so that is the bottom line lah. All right, and this is a very, 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 very important document, which we will give by default for free, certificate of proofreading. We will always ask for your information when you come to us, and you need to provide those information so that we can generate this for thesis, for proposal, and for journal. Must have this certificate. Okay. And then most importantly, for those who are from UiTM, you can never see this on my website anymore, but I only offer this as part of the invited talks lah. So ultimate thesis package, up to 30% off, proofreading, translation, and formatting services covers under 30% off. And most importantly, we are the only one and only language warranty provider, lifetime coverage. Okay, not reviewer response. That means once you do proofreading, you go and submit. Let's say they give you review after 2 years. Happens. After 2 years, they say language needs to be improved. You can come back to me after 2 years. I will fix it for you, provided you don't change even a word. If you change, then it's not covered anymore lah. But after you do reviewer response, like Dr. Ekmil, Dr. Ekmil made some changes. Then those changes, we will charge for those changes. Okay, if she choose to proofread back lah. But if not, then it's okay. But the moment there are changes already, the warranty doesn't cover anymore. But thesis, proposal, paper, no changes, lifetime coverage. Nothing to worry. Okay, warranty, yeah. Okay, for today's class, I'm going to provide Prisma scoping review notes. Okay, very detailed one. There's quite a number of PDF files here. Okay, sure, Dr. Ekmil, you Telegram or you WhatsApp me later. I'll recall that. Don't worry. And then I'll give you all the checklists. Okay, scoping review, scope systematic review checklist. I will give you sample papers and also the step 1 proposal for you to understand. Okay, all right. Okay, and for those who are part of this class, UiTM is always one of my favorite class because of the activeness of all the participants. Trust me when I say that. Please kindly review today's class. Okay, and also most importantly, give feedback on. Please hit 5-star. Don't give me less than 5-star. Okay, hit 5-star. Click the link, and most importantly, write down in the comment column what do you want me to teach in Facebook live classes. Just some feedback. Okay, what do you want me to teach? Like what do you want to learn more? Okay, make sure 5-star, nothing less than 5-star. Okay, Dr. Ekmil, for you to reach me through WhatsApp, you click this link. Here you go. Okay, that is the link to WhatsApp. Okay, and this is where we are located. This is our Cyberjaya address. Okay, we don't have any other offices yet. Soon we'll open somewhere. But this is where you can find me lah. But usually we just do online lah. Okay. Okay, and last but not least, for those who are looking for coaching and consultation, student or supervisors, we have many supervisors with us all the time. Publication, content editing, Scopus, Web of Science, we are known for it. Okay, defense thesis, examiner response, if you need some coaching, no problem. PhD to proposal to defense consultancy, masters also. Defense Viva preparations, thesis to journal conversion, our key area that we normally look at. Data analysis interpretations. Okay, so if you have any of the difficulties, get in touch, no problem. And thank you very much for your time today. We are done. Finale is over. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I never cover any part, if I go too fast, I am very, very sorry, because as you can see, it's already 12:05 now. Let me stop. Okay. And back to you guys. Okay. So back to Afika. Thank you very much. And thank you very much everyone for joining today.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tabamaran. That was indeed a very compact, informative, interesting, and stimulating session. Honorable audience, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have got plenty of questions along the session. However, we are still open for any question. Maybe one or two questions more from the participants. You can unmute the microphone and preferable have your camera turned on, or you can forward your inquiries in the chat box. Anyone from the audience? Okay, Dr. Taba, let me. I
Okay,
got
sure,
one questions from you.
Definitely. Go ahead.
Okay. In your opinion, when writing paper, to speed up our writing, where should we start first? Do we have to follow the flow from the abstract introduction to literature review, or how would you suggest
Yang ni
that?
untuk paper ke thesis or proposal?
Paper.
For paper, I would suggest abstract is the last thing you do. So abstract is the last thing you do. You should start from introduction. Because if you write your introduction correctly, you will know your funnel very well. Okay, introduction will tell you, okay, this is the motivation, this is why I'm doing. You will convince yourself, this is why I'm doing it, this is the sole reason, this is statistical information, and then very strong problem statement. Then you go to literature review. For me, I always start section 1 lah, chapter 1 or section 1. Okay?
Yes, Director.
All right, no problem.
Anyone from the audience?
Okay, Shofia, I think Dr. Ain dah share form for you guys to fill up. So please kindly, please kindly fill up so that I can email to all of you lah. So we have Mr. Zamri for proofreading. Will cover only English. No, we do English and BM and also Mandarin sometimes lah, because you get client coming from China as well. Okay, so we do English, we do Indonesian language as well, we do Malay, and then slightly different lah between Indonesian language and Malay. Of course, you guys know well. And then Chinese also, Mandarin. So those are the languages that we cover. Arabic, we tried once or twice. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all. There's no question. Furthermore, okay, very well, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to have your pleasure cooperation to turn on the camera for a group photo session. Your cooperation is highly appreciated. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mrs. Amri, upon request, yes. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a very good weekend. Have a very good long weekend, actually. Have fun. All right, take care. Drive safe. Bye-bye, everyone. See you. See you all next year. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ain, and thank you, Afika. All right, if Deputy Director is still here, please convey my wishes as well. Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. See you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your information. Link to this.
Yes, welcome.